right-hand side. And fellow countrymen, representing Root Gaming, it's our blue Protoss player, DisK.
I gotta say, as an old school StarCraft fan, anytime I see the Root logo, I'm happy. It's
How
so
could you not
good.
be?
Root, just one of those legendary teams, supported so many players over the years, and of course, ran by a very dear friend, Paolo Katz. I don't know his last name, Riviera, something like that.
Sure.
Why not? Yeah, really nice to see Root still supporting these players, even though maybe not to the degree that they used to. I'm just happy to see them even existing. For now, we do see Hatch gas pull from Scarlett. I kind of expected after that she might be a little upset and just all in.
Scarlett is not the most emotional player in the world. We all have, I think there's some famous, photos of her maybe in moments of excitement or moments of frustration, but really her play does not reflect how she's feeling inside, man. She could eat a really rough 2-1 loss like the one she just did and come back fresh-faced and ready for a new challenge. I mean, she's been competing on the highest level at the GSL for the past, 8 years now?
Yeah.
And there's a hardening of the heart that has to happen. And Scarlett has done it better than some. So I'm not surprised to see her going for the Hatch Gas Pool conservative opening here. Because, again, I think DisK is a player she knows she can beat. You don't want to gamble an easy win on some sort of crazy 12 pool, especially now that you've dropped a series in a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the group quickly. Canning now currently the only player undefeated in his group, and that's an incredible result, because that group has Neeb, that group has Scarlett, that group has... I'm forgetting someone.
Silky.
Namshar,
DisK, Vindicta, and Cuddlebear. Some big names.
Yeah, so Canning is the best player in the world. That's all that matters right now. Let's turn this shit off and go to bed.
Well, I was just thinking earlier, I was like, man, we need to have some sort of hype overfill meter where if DreamHack has such a hype game that it simply can't be contained,
and it shuts down.
Just end it for the day. It's an override switch, and we're like, you know what? That's enough StarCraft. We're all super happy with that result. Let's come back tomorrow. Like, we're done here.
Of course, Scarlett, we still very much expect to get through in one of those top positions, first, second, or third. It's not like she's been eliminated. We're not writing her off by any means. We're all still big Scarlett fans. But Canning is someone, if you don't know, if you're maybe newer to the B stream, Canning also casted on this stream just a few days ago. He's been a regular, working alongside both me and Creighton. He's a dear friend of ESL_SC2B, and we love to see him do well. We want to see him succeed in every regard in his life, and also we're just massive fanboys.
That's absolutely true. Remember, of course, Namshar currently, Canning currently 3-0, but he's not beaten any players that are really terrifying besides Scarlett. This Scarlett victory is a huge win for him, but his other wins are against Vindicta and Cuddlebear, the players that are currently last in the group right now. So he has a lot of challenges ahead, including Neeb, Silky, and Namshar as well. Going to be really tough, but hey, ride it while it's high, and celebrate while you can. Well done by Canning. And an early road tour in here from Scarlett as the third base finishes up. Excellent read. No spores yet, though, for Scarlett. And there's an Oracle on the way from DisK.
Second Oracle. Yeah, 2 Oracles going to be hitting pretty soon. I imagine Scarlett, she's adding on a spine. I don't think she quite respects what's coming. I think she's expecting an Adept push. What has Scarlett seen? That's what I need to know. Nothing. I think she's very much expecting Adepts in this scenario. I can't see any other reason why she get Roach War and Spine, no spores, lots and lots of lings. I think she may have misinterpreted what is coming. I'm not sure what information she had that has given her that perspective, but this is looking a little bit scary right now for Scarlett, as she has to do a relatively large pull here. She's going to lose some workers over in the natural, almost certainly.
Yeah, definitely. 4 workers, 5, 6 going to go down quite quickly, and the queens all now out of position. Only 5 queens on the map, which means there are no queens in the main. She's counterattacking in the third here and might be able to force a cancel, but these drones in the main going down instantaneously as the queens slowly rotate around. Those 2 oracles still alive here from DisK. Now she will get the cancel on the third base to even stuff out just a little bit, but losing 10 drones is slightly worse than losing a third base under destruction.
Yeah, the hatch... the Oracles were recalled here to try and keep DisK alive, and that was a really smart play. Of course, you want to have them at the other side of the map here, but they were a little bit trapped, and also that was a lot of lings that Scarlett was having to deal with. Now, Scarlett is still very healthy, 46 drones. making a big round of drones right now. But DisK is in a pretty solid position. Now, his third is late. If Scarlett didn't get that cancel, we would have been in a world of pain, but it hasn't happened. And now we're looking pretty safe here for the Queen of Blades.
Yeah, she should be fine. Not overextending to the fourth base without being ready for it. Not over-droning too much. Just getting up to a healthy number, 57 drones. Kind of waiting for a while adding on some more roaches. And most importantly, getting the tech that she needs right now. So she's got missile attacks on the way. Got that roach speed as well. And wow, a lot more drones actually. Going straight to Infestation Pit. Oh, he smoked. So never mind. Fast. I thought she was going to go safe here. She's going to stay on 3 bases. Get up to Hive Tech. Going to see Lingbane Muta out of her, maybe? A little odd timing, though, for Lingbane Muta. Wonder what she's... maybe just Lingbane?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to why she's going for such an early Infestation Pit, unless she wants to transition very quickly into Lurkers. But, of course, there's no Hydroden, so it doesn't look like that is going to be the case just yet. Nidus, okay. Now things are getting a little bit funky. Scarlett playing her traditional style of very unpredictable, very interesting, and absolutely insane. It is Swarm Hosts. Okay. So Nidus Swarm Host, she's bringing it back. It didn't quite work in her last series over on the mainstream. Can she use it to kill this Canadian Protoss, this innocent, gentle Canadian Protoss? We'll have to wait and see right now, though. This is looking a little scary. One good thing... Oh, there is an Overlord. Okay, there's a Stalker patrolling. This Overlord is softened up, but I think the natural and the main, both prime targets here. We do have DisK moving out, and maybe he can buy some time here, because Scarlett really, apart from the Swarm Host, her army is 4 roaches and 6 lings.
The problem is that DisK has not spotted this yet. He'll hear the Swarm Host going down on the map, and that's going to cause some alarm bells, because I don't think he has any idea really what's coming. Scarlett will be forced to use these Swarm Hosts defensively unless she can drive DisK back, and DisK isn't going to go for the push here. That's a mistake. DisK really needs to put pressure on Scarlett right now, but already the Swarm Host coming out. DisK completely unprepared for this. Another Nidus Swarm going down already, and Scarlett's going to lose, DisK's going to lose an Archon for nothing.
Yeah, now, the good news is the first wave of Locusts are generally the deadliest, and when they're just sitting on their ass like this doing nothing, Scarlett can be pretty DisK can be pretty content that he didn't lose a Nexus. Usually that first wave can very much take down a Nexus. Now, it does look like, more Archons going down. Now, this is a little problematic. A couple of Swarm Hosts getting caught out. They're just going to turn tail and run home. Try and get into a backup Nidus Swarm here. DisK's doing a decent job, but Scarlett's up in supply. Now, she was up in supply versus M Canning. She couldn't close it. As I'm having a few connection issues. That is just because I'm in EU here, guys. It's not too bad. We'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, no problem, man. I'm glad you're still here, doing just fine. Scarlett's really starting to put the pressure on now, and she's already forced out 1 shield battery overcharge from DisK, and this is a really good sign, you know. Forcing that shield battery overcharge at the mere sight of the Swarm Hosts is probably a good indication that your opponent's a little bit concerned right now. Scarlett's army supply, of course, super ahead of DisK, but that's tied up in Roach Swarm Hosts, which isn't the most indicative. The best thing you want to look at is that army value, and while Scarlett is about 1,000 minerals ahead, again, all of that in Swarm Hosts, and she's going to be forced to retreat here. Losing 1 Swarm Host, that Nidus will get cleaned up, so DisK maybe not as far back as you may have thought.
No, and if you take a look at resources lost, it's actually pretty close. Considering that Swarm Hosts, their entire purpose is to trade very, very cost-effectively using free units. DisK has done a very good job of not losing any crucial tech or any crucial nexuses. His economy is still very, very strong at 61 workers. He's managing to find a bit of counter-pressure. It is minimal as 4 workers go down. But he's doing alright. He's getting a lot of Archons. His +2 is on the way, as is Scarlett. It's very even in terms of upgrades. Lurkaden is about to finish off, though, here for Scarlett, and that's when things become a little bit scarier.
Exactly, and that's what we talked about earlier in the game, or you talked about a little bit earlier in the game. It's like, what happens at the end of the game when things start to get a little scary? How do you pull out of this Swarm Host play? Because you can't stay on Swarm Host Nidus forever unless you're able to break a base or destroy, 3 mineral lines in a row or something. And with the amount of Archons out now, the splash damage is going to be fairly decent for DisK, so Scarlett will get driven back here. Not going to find any real damage on this 4th base of DisK, and Scarlett's only on 4 bases herself, has not yet moved to a 5th. The Hive Tech finishing up, and that'll give her access to some late game tech, but she's got to decide what she wants to do as the game moves into its late game cycle. She can't stay on this Roach Swarm Host forever.
Yeah, Scarlett is mapped right now. Does she have any lurkers on the field? No. Okay, so she's not able to make some until she trades out some supply. That's the purpose of this push right here. A couple of swarm hosts going to have to throw down those locusts here to try and help the army trade out. Scarlett needs to, of course, be as cost efficient as possible. Now here comes the big wave, and this could well be a lot of damage here to DisK. He's doing a good job. He has so many Archons in a great position, and batteries as well, but the base does fall, and that's a big loss for DisK, who isn't mining. Okay, he's transferred over to the south base, but Scarlett has the agility. She has a great way to get around the map with these swarm hosts, and as long as the swarm hosts and Nidus remain a threat here, I think DisK is still in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time we've ever seen Scarlett put pressure on that third base together with a swarm hosts and a ground army. So that's the very first time she's ever had the opportunity to really push in and do crippling damage. She's sort of been poking around the outskirts for a while. So that's indicative of just how dangerous this army really is. I mean, so despite the odd composition, I mean, Scarlett's just going to back DisK up against the corner here. DisK doesn't even have the money, or does barely have the money to rebuild that third base, but it's not going to happen. GG. And adepted Scarlett grabs the first game of the series.
Yeah, that's an important win for Scarlett. As we said, she does have that mental fortitude in order to come back, but she needs a win after coming off of a lost series against the man, the myth, the legend, Canning, and she is able to now pick that up. So Scarlett managing to pick up that win. DisK, he looked strong in places, but he just couldn't deal with the ultimate composition. And now we move on to map 2 over on, was it Ice and Chrome? Ice and Chrome. Scarlett versus DisK game 2. Following this, guys, we will have Asuna taking on Australia, which is going to be a fucking nightmare. And then we will end the day with Pili taking on Massa. So 2 good series after this one to go. It is getting pretty late here, so I apologize if I tone it down a little bit. I have a housemate, so...
You're doing great, Grant, and we love you so much. Keep up the good work, buddy. I know it's like already almost late for me. It's 5 o'clock here, so it must be crazy late for you. These are always big days, especially the second half of the DreamHack week when we go into North America as well, because North America has more matches than we're used to casting with the Latin America, which has half as many games because it has half as many players. So big days all around. Actually, half as many games? Yeah, but not quite half as many games. But the math's a little fuzzy. We'll get out our TI 84s and check ourselves later. But for now, we're going to get into game number 2 with Scarlett and DisK. And as you said, Grant, I think DisK needs to put a little more pressure on this game. Can't let Scarlett get up to that unit composition where she's just very terrifying. And I'd love to see Scarlett go for something other than Swarm Host Nidus here, just to showcase her talents outside of that particular unit composition. But she must feel like it's very strong right now.
Yeah, I think Scarlett's strength as well is in her early game, and now she has a map to throw away. In the series against Canning, she didn't. Of course, he won map 1. So if we're ever going to see Scarlett go for something very aggressive and maybe all in, this would be the map to do it. I mean, maybe not Ice and Chrome necessarily, although it's not bad for it. But generally, having a one map win, knowing that there's a map in the pocket, so to speak, it doesn't look like she's going for anything very aggressive. It does look like we will be seeing that hatchery opening here from Scarlett. But yeah, let's introduce our players. Starting off in the bottom left, leading the series 1-0, playing for Brave Star Gaming, but under the tab, Adepted. She is the Blue Zerg player from Canada. It's Scarlett.
And Scarlett's opponent in that top right-hand side in the red, representing Root Gaming and also Canada, it is the one, the only, the DisK.
I can't not say Canada. Someone at some point could be like, "Oh, do you really think it's called that?" in Twitch chat, and I'm gonna go with it because do you know what? It's just a better name.
It really is. Sorry, Canadians in the chat. See, that sounds dumb, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Canadians, it's dumb.
Canadians, yes, Canadians.
The country is obviously Canadian. Come on, come on.
I agree.
Anyway, let's see what happens here in game 2. But as we I think predicted, Scarlett going for Hatch Gas Pool again. You know, I haven't seen her 12 pool in a long time, Grant. No. I'd be a little surprised to see it happening now. She's been playing really conservative builds for quite some time, really focusing on that long game, and really seems to excel in the mid game with a little bit of trickery, and then again at the end of the game when she just has, amazing control great map awareness, and she reminds me of like Lean Octopus, where it seems like she just has 8 arms, and they're just all on the keyboard at once, doing all sorts of work.
Man, I miss Leanog now.
Right? We all do.
Sad.
That kid.
And Jaedong, I'd love him to come back. Jaedong, where are you? Queen's on the way here for Scarlett. She is going for Queen for her third. May opt to go for a third and fourth Queen, but I very much do not imagine that in this matchup. She is only getting a couple of lanes just to push away this probe, so she can safely take that third without getting blocked or any nightmare nonsense like that. DisK is getting his depth, sending that across the map. Stargate on the way down for DisK. Now, he didn't go for a Stargate last game. Well, yes, he did. He went for 2 Oracles. Shut up, Grant. Oh, it is third and fourth Queen. Okay. She is going for the late third.
Third and fourth Queen's out for Scarlett, which means her third base going to be a little bit delayed here if it goes down at all. What are the odds that Scarlett stays on 1 base here, Grant? And how can you tell if that's going to happen? Do you know?
I mean, if she'd stayed in gas the entire time, we'd be maybe considering a roach push or something like that. But there's no roach run. There's nothing down that makes us think that. Right. I think she's just taking a late third and being very, very safe. This is the safest opening Azur can do. She's going to have 4 Queens. You can see there's 8 more drones on the way, which will oversaturate her, or fully saturate her on 2 bases. I expect to see a third very shortly here from Scarlett. I'm very surprised it's gone this long, to be honest with you. But she should be pushing out to take that any time. Lair, okay. Oh my god, is she going to do 2 base Swarm Host Nidus?
Maybe. Let's see if that infestation pit goes down very quickly. If so, that'll be the obvious. I mean, that'll be the indicator that that's what's happening. The problem is she's got to hide it from DisK right now, and since DisK has the Stargate down and a Void Ray out, that Void Ray could definitely get into the main base and spot something. But yeah, Lair Tech down, more drones coming on. I'm a bit concerned right now. Scarlett may be doing a 2-base Swarm Host Nidus play if she's feeling so strong about it.
She may go Spire. It looks like 2-base Muta, but it's the wrong matchup. And with DisK opening Void Ray, he has the ability to go into Phoenixes very quick. Void Ray Phoenix very good in low numbers. What is this? 2-base Lurker?
Now that's a build I've not heard for a very long time.
I don't have a clue what's going on.
2-base Lurker has been. How did you like my Alec Guinness impression? That was
solid. It was good. I don't know who Alec Guinness is, but I like the voice you did.
Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I do know him. Yeah, I like him.
He's great, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, 2-base Lurker is a build I've not heard for a very long time. Although I don't see any indication that the Lurker Den is coming. It might just be 2-base Hydra, which again is not a thing. Grant.
No. She has no reason not to have taken a third. I'm so confused. Someone in chat must know. We're steadfast.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't know this build, but I do know Scarlett. This is not a mistake. This is not an error. This is not her forgetting. It's not like she's just like, oh, forgot to build a third base. She is such a meticulous and specific player, especially in her build orders. She and No Regret have spent so much time in Korea together, perfecting to the second all these build orders and doing genuine StarCraft research on, wait a minute, if we go Evo Chamber 3 drones earlier, then we still have the gas for this. They know all of those timings specifically. There's the Lurker Den.
So fast.
Very fast. And the Hydras are getting grooved spines, though. So Lurker Hydra off of a late third base. My problem is going to be, does she have enough on the ground right now, enough bulk on the ground right now to fight against this army from DisK? DisK has charge. He's got a bunch of Zealots out. He's got a Warp Prism to reinforce. And Scarlett doesn't have that much meat in her army, right? It's all these glass cannon units, Queens and Hydras right now.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary. She needs these next 5 Hydras, and then I feel a little bit more confident. That's a big warp in here from DisK. DisK is going to be able to push back this Overlord, get a pick up on that. That will not supply box Scarlett, but it may as well do. Scarlett is going to try and find a good angle here. She does have Groove Spine, so these Hydras fighting from a very long way away, able to dish out huge amounts of damage to the Zealot front line. But as soon... Yeah, okay. Very nice from Scarlett. Groove Spines has literally just saved her ass here. She's getting more Hydras and a few more Lings out. She doesn't want to be losing anything, though. She's still under threat here. She's even in the army supply, but our army isn't good against what DisK has. If DisK force fields a ramp... Okay, he's not going to do that. Oh, this is so sketchy.
Yeah, DisK's got to be really cautious with these force fields, though, because the Hydra with Groove Spine can all attack. Look at the Hydra
Great
attack
force
animations
fields.
all going off right now. It's just going to force the Zealots to walk all the way around. While there's a big warping in the main, which is quite nice, and Scarlett should have responded to that a little bit more quickly, I just don't think DisK has enough meat in his army. Those Zealots have been slowed down just way too much there. The Hydra's even sniping the Void Ray, and now DisK has got to pick up and get out. Absolutely no damage was done.
Yeah, behind this, DisK does have a... Oh, he doesn't. He just put it down. I thought his fad was finished. Okay, now DisK is in some trouble. Scarlett with just incredible control. As I said, Groove Spine's just bloody good. Sounded more like George Takei. Your impression's getting ribbed on here.
Oh, no. I can't. Anyway,
Jeez.
whatever. Go on.
Now Scarlett's in a great position. She's up in workers, she's up in army, she's up in upgrades. She's going to be 2 upgrades up where without too much long. She's getting lurkers. I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a Nidus or something come down from her shortly. She's no longer droning by the looks of things. Does she have lava? Yes. She has money, but she's not making drones, so I don't know what's happening.
It's fine, Grant. She's doing great, man. We see the Templar Archives finally coming down, so DisK can turn this Charge Lot build into a Charge Lot Archon build, but it's going to be a little bit slow here, because Scarlett should be ready to put that pressure on. The Lurkers have finished up, the Hydras are here, and even without any Lurker upgrades yet, no Seismic Spines, no Adaptive Talons for that quick dig, they're not going to be able to get anything done, Grant. So even though there's that Infestation Pit in the main base, I don't think Scarlett's going to lean on it too heavily. She needs to move out, and she needs to move out right now, because she has a distinct advantage, both economic and militarily.
Yeah, she's just sitting back for now, and I read something in chat which is very real. This is very Brood War-esque, going for a Hydra-based macro army, and we know she's playing a lot of Brood War, so I really like to read that. That's very, very funny. Now, where is Scarlett's army sitting right now? It is sitting just outside the natural. She's really playing far back. No 4th base taken, so DisK is even in economy. I'm sure Scarlett has more drones, but she must be oversaturated. Yeah, she's oversaturated in the main and at the 3rd. So sure, she's mining, but she's not really mining incredibly. This is so strange to see. I don't know what's happening. Honestly, she's getting a hive. Is Nidus gone down yet? No. +2's really close to finishing.
This looks like one of those classic, no regrets Scarlett over-engineered builds that they cooked up in the back of a lab, high on Monster Energy drink, or Hot 6, because they're in Korea, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, oh my god, you can actually do a 2-base Hydra Lurker push, then get up to 4 bases, go for a hive, but only use the hive for +3, and that'll maximize your damage per mineral input. Like, this seems like it's highly technically precise and engineered. Again, it may look like she's like making this up on the fly. I can almost guarantee that's definitely not the case.
4th has been finally taken here from Scarlett, who is sitting back very defensively. She has a few Lings catching some Templar here, but they will not be able to get any kills. Storm is done here for our Protoss player, who I would like to see. If I'm a Protoss player and I see a Zerg playing this far back, I throw down 3 Stargates and a Fleet Bacon, and I get Gridolin, as you would say, Creighton. Because Scarlett is playing very, very defensive, and we've just seen in a series on the A stream that maybe we don't want to talk about too much, but she does struggle against that hype. Every Zerg does, right? Against hyper late game Protoss air units. With Storm and Disruptor, and DisK had a lot of time. He did opt to use it on instead just getting a lot of Archons and Zealots and Immortals and Probes and everything pretty standard. I mean, he did fail that first push, but this game's weird.
Got 2 Vipers on the way now to sort of bulk out her army a little bit more. Seismic Spines finishing up for those Lurkers. Their DPS is going to be absolutely insane. 4th base going down for DisK now. Scarlett grabbing her 5th as well. So still 1 base ahead, just barely. But this is very strange. Like I said, I'm still amazed that she did not engage 4 minutes ago, run across the map after she defeated DisK's first army to go put pressure on that 3rd base of DisK.
She's 2-2 against +0.
She's almost +3 now.
Yeah, she's going to be +3 to +1.
No Carapace upgrades, which again, a little surprising, but knowing Scarlett, there's some very specific reason that she's not doing that. And with Adrenal Glands on the way, she's going to be able to rotate out of this if, in fact, we do see a lot of Templar, a lot of Storm, or even like a lot of Archons or something. The Lings are going to be a nice counter to anything that's particularly really good against those Lurkers. So I'm not surprised to see her going for that Adrenal Glands. And now, finally, we see Scarlett going out on the map to put some pressure on. 120 army supply, Grant, to 95.
Yeah. And something Turnbergler just said in chat that you'd appreciate, Creighton, is Scarlett is going for the cultural victory with creep spread. As a Civilization fan, I thought you'd enjoy that. That made me giggle. But now we have the Lurkers sieged up. This is so many Lurkers. 16. There's Vipers. This is a late game Zerg army. And we're not really even that late into the game. I mean, there's just so many Lurkers. And our Pro Tour player trying desperately to engage into this, but you just can't. And Scarlett will use these like siege tanks. She will eke forward just step by step. Here we go. Get in range of the Nexus, and unfortunately for DisK, I think his time may have run out. There is no DisK space left, because right now the Canadian's in trouble.
Yeah, and the Canadian is doing really well too.
Yeah.
We saw that fight initially go really well for DisK, able to get on top of a couple of those lurkers, but as the storm energy ran out and the Archon numbers started to dwindle, it's going to be a for the last ditch effort here for DisK to get on top. Now, I will say there's some good Immortals in the back doing some good damage, but unfortunately they just get absolutely destructinated by those lurkers, just pushing them back. The Zealots don't last a moment.